Amber is a support type character here. This is what she looks like. It says here, a Tyrant Queen who can summon an electromagnetic storm on a whim. Bow down. Amber was once a scientist of Space Fleet's Mars Research Station and never thought she'd one day see combat. An experiment gone awry changed her fate forever. During this accident, Amber was swept up in an intense electromagnetic storm. None present thought she could survive. After the storm subsided, Amber's colleagues saw her walk out unscathed. Soon Amber discovered she can absorb and store electromagnetic particles. She could also channel these particles to form a protective shield, or release them to devastating effects. Amber designed an electromagnetic drive to enhance and modulate her power. Space fleets took notice of her abilities and transferred her to the Promethean Force. Amber soon adapted to life on the battlefield, using her powers to the statification of her CO. So, I'm not sure where there she's a Tyrant Queen, but maybe that's like in her backstory, like way backstory. This is one of her skins. This is the next one, and this is the last one. Oh, there's another one. Whoa, this one looks cool. Okay, so she's got a lot of skins, wow. She's got 4, 1, 2, 3, she's got 3 additional skins, not including her base skin, but I think this skin is my favorite next to this one. This one looks really cool. But yeah, so it's Amber. Looking at her first ability, Magnetic Surge. Energy costs, very low. Cooldowns, pretty low. So, pretty cool ability so far. Deals damage to enemies in a straight line. Okay. Units hit a second time by this skill within a certain time take extra damage and are stunned. And it can hold 2 charges. First impressions, this is a pretty cool looking ability. So you're going to want to land this in succession with itself to get the most of your damage. EM shielding, energy cost 50, cooldown 12 seconds. That 12 seconds is pretty big, but the 50 is very, very low cost. Creates electromagnetic shields around Amber and the friendly hero with the lowest health percentage within range. This skill also increases Amber's movement speed. So, support ability, very strong. It shields both her and an ally. And she also moves faster with it. So she's got a lot of poke. She's got protections. And her third ability, monopoles. Sorry, I was about to say monopolies, but it's monopoles. Energy cost 55, 70, 85, 100, so pretty low still, and the cooldown is 5 seconds. So she's got a lot of spam ability under her kit. Produces 1 magnetic particle every few seconds, which can be used to slow and damage target. Until the maximum charge is reached, target hit by multiple monopoles takes decreased damage from each hit. So she seems like a very spammy type character. She's going to have a lot of poke between Magnetic Surge and monopoles. And then she has her way of getting out with movement speed and also the protection to put on her allies if they want to go into trade as well. So she seems like a pretty strong, just kind of like ability spam type hero. So let's look at her ultimate. Magnetic Storm. Energy costs, pretty decent. Looks balanced so far. Cooldown 90, 80, 70. So it's 70 seconds. Over a minute. That's this better be a very strong ability. Calls forth a powerful magnetic storm, stunning nearby enemy units and dealing damage over time. Okay, so magnetic storm, I would have expected a little bit more, but it doesn't really say if it stuns multiple times or how long the stun is, or how much damage it does. So straight up front, magnetic surge plus monopoles equals either an insta-kill or a immediate win in a trade, on top of a special protection that shields 2 people, not just one other person. It shields both Amber and the friendly hero with the lowest health percentage within range. And then Magnetic Storm is just there to give some stuns and area damage as well. So that's pretty nice. Its cooldown is very, very long, so I would imagine that this lasts a bit of a while. and the stun is probably pretty strong as well. It's an AoE stun, so you can stun multiple targets with this, I'm assuming, pretty effectively, and then blow them up with Magnetic Surge and Monopole. So her kit in one, it seems like so she's not as balanced as E60's abilities are, because it looks like the thing that's gonna cause her to win lane is Magnetic Surge's extra damage and stun, and then if she lands that stun, Monopole's out, Shablam does a lot of damage. So she looks like she's going to want to win trades early on, and then have the another bully type character, I guess you could say. Thing she's lacking on, not sure how I feel about this shielding ability. I mean, it shields herself and the ADC in lane, so she's obviously going to allow probably some of the more split tank, where she gives both her and her ally the shield, so both of them are now a bit more harder to poke out. And then on top of that, she just has a massive kit for constant bombardment of abilities, that if you continue to land them, they essentially just keep doing more and more damage, which is really awesome. So she looks like she's going to actually be fairly consistent in the lane, just because her abilities aren't just automatically sort of sent out for a time. It looks like you can use these continuously throughout the laning phase and just continue to poke, which I think she'd be a very, very strong matchup with Cat X, because Cat X has also a very consistent kit. Some ideas for her as far as countering this lane: you're probably going to really, really want to utilize the fact that she needs to be landing her abilities to make the lane win. And if you're playing a mobile character, hopefully it's a lot harder for you to get hit by some of them. Or you play a more zoning type character that has better range than she does. And basically what that's going to do is that's going to completely deny her the ability to poke safely. She's not going to be able to go in, hit you with that... she's not going to be able to go in and hit you with the Magnetic Surge every single time and then go for that second one, because maybe that second one that she wants to land on you is going to put her in an unsafe position. On top of that, you might want to try and utilize the fact of maybe she's definitely a little too hungry for that Magnetic Surge damage and stun. Maybe you can use that to benefit you, so she kind of goes a little bit too deep to get this stun and damage off, and then all of a sudden, bam, she's getting hit by crowd control, continuous poke, and she has to back off, and now she's low on HP, she can't sustain, she has to back, and then that gives you the chance of, getting your win in, essentially. Her ultimate is not going to be, her ultimate is probably one of the more weaker ultimates that I've seen so far. Its cooldown is really, really long, and it's just an AoE DPS. It's got the stun on there, but I'm assuming that it doesn't continuously stun you. It probably, it's probably just one stun. So once that stun's up, you can cleanse that one stun and get out of the storm. In team fights, her ultimate, this is definitely a big team fight ability, and on top of that, she's shielding 2 people during that whole team fight, and she's able to just say to one person, yeah, you're gone, or you just take a bunch of damage, and it's every 5 seconds. So very, very team fight prevalent with damage, not team fight prevalent with crowd control. She's got 2 crowd control abilities, so that's really the side effect of being a burst heavy composition, is your late game is not going to be as strong. So she's definitely strong early mid game. Late game, depending on her damage, maybe her damage is going to carry her into the late game, but certainly not her crowd control. Her crowd control is just going to be there. But other than that, she's your very typical burst support composition character. You might actually end up seeing her mid lane, possibly. But overall, she actually does have a pretty decent kit, especially with her EM shielding, giving her mobility. Depending on the damage that she ends up doing, she could be meta, But I think that without having a way of getting income, that burst is going to be a little bit weighted on. It's not going to happen immediately. Like as if you were playing Jones or Chris, you basically get more gold by having them on your team. She doesn't have that. She instead has, hey, you're a bit more tanky while you're playing with me, and that's fine and all. But the gold income does that as well. So it's kind of, this is more immediate, I guess you could say. This is more immediate. You don't need items to have that gold be effective. But at the same time, the items increase out all of their abilities, and this doesn't actually increase any of your abilities. This literally just increases your survivability. So it seems like she's going to be falling behind a little bit as far as that goes. But yet again, no other support has this fast abilities, maybe except for E60, but he is more on the tanky CC side as opposed to the massive DPS side that she has. So overall, she seems like a pretty good character. I'm excited to see what she does in Genesis, and that's going to be it for that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Subscribe for more Genesis, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!